Okay, good morning everyone and welcome to today's webinar on what do my contractors see? My name's Jessica and I'm going to be going through the webinar with you this morning. I'm the Customer Training Manager here at Fixflo. Guys, before I get to the agenda, I just want to let you know that this webinar is being recorded, so I will send a recording to you all by the end of play today. And just to let you know, this webinar will take on average about an hour. It does depend on questions. But yeah, hopefully we'll be finished by around 12 o'clock. It could be just before then. So today's agenda. So first of all, I'm going to be showing you the welcome email that you can send out to contractors and how you can also send this out. So how you can customize and view this email and how you can get this out to one or more contractors. I also want to show you what the emails look like that your contractors receive. Then what we'll be doing is we'll be jumping on to the contractor side of the site and you'll be getting to grips with the contractor dashboard, sorry. Then I'll be showing you how they can progress jobs. After that, I'll be showing you the invoice options for contractors and how they can manage their invoices. I'll be going through the contractor settings as well. And finally, guys, we'll be showing you the contractor app. Any questions at all during this webinar, please do get them through to me. There is a Q&A button on your Zoom bar. If you could please get all your questions through there, I will do my very best to answer as many as I possibly can. There are quite a few of you on here this morning, so depending kind of on how many questions come through, I will do my very best to answer them all. Anything that you feel is not answered, you can always email me. Our email address is support@fixflo.com, but hopefully this webinar really does clear up a lot of questions that you do have on the contractor side. Okay, so before we get started, I'm just going to release a quick poll. So there are two polls. The first poll is just getting some feels from you guys in terms of why you're attending today's webinar. It's great to see you on here. Just be great to know kind of why you've attended today. The first question, you can answer as many as possible. So you can answer 1, 2, or 3 of those. Secondly, are you aware that we have a contractor help site and also a video library for contractors? This is something we're trying to train out more. It's something I'm going to be showing you quickly as well later, but hopefully this is something that you can use when training out to your contractors. And also, do you feel confident in training out the Fixflo site to your contractors? Hopefully, again, this webinar will help to combat any of those qualms that anyone's having. Fantastic. I'm just going to leave that open just for another few seconds. It looks like it's pretty much answered. Almost, there's just a few more answers to go. Really appreciate hearing from you guys in terms of why you're on here and how confident you guys feel. If you don't feel confident, don't worry, please put no. Hopefully we'll change that around by the end of the webinar. Okay, fantastic. I am going to close that off now. Thank you so much to everybody who answered that poll there. And what I'm now going to do is we're going to start with showing you how you can view the contractor welcome email, how you can amend that, and also how you can send that out to one or more contractors. So just to let you know, if you are wanting to view and amend this email, you will need to have administrator rights on your Fixflo site to do so, because you'll need to click on here, Setup, on your left-hand menu sidebar. And you will then want to click here on Content Edit. Now, once you've come through to Content Edit, this is where you can make changes to some of the emails that go out via the Fixflo site, and also to the fault tree pop-ups, which essentially are the guidance and advice pop-ups for occupiers. But for today's webinar, we are focusing on the contractor welcome email here. So you'll want to stay within the contents tab here, once you're through, and you want to click here on email welcome contractor. So here is the email. You can view this. You can click here to actually preview this as well. And this will allow you to link out to our video, which can help contractors familiarize themselves with Fixflo. You can also click here, which will take them to essentially the contractor help site. And also there is information as well on the contractor app. So you can actually click through on these links when you click on the preview button there, and you can see the entire email. If you would like to make any changes to these emails, you can easily do so. And remember, once you've changed it once, that is the bulk change. So you'll need to make sure if, for example, you wanted to change it and send it to a few contractors and then maybe change it for other contractors, you'll need to remember to change it each time. But really, this is for the kind of the bulk email. You can go in just like a Word document. You would simply click in and essentially start typing. Once you are happy with the changes, you must remember to press save. If you do not press save and you come out of this page, then the default email will remain. So that's just something to bear in mind. When it comes to sending this email out, you can either do this as a bulk to all of your contractors on your Fixflo site, or you can do it one by one. So if you wanted to send the welcome emails out to all of your contractors and get them on board, you would click here on people and then go to contractors. Within contractors, you could click into this particular contractor that you would like to send the welcome email to. You can scroll down and click here on send welcome email. It will show you here as well a little audit of when this welcome email was last sent. And this is doing it obviously on a case-by-case basis. If you have a bulk of contractors and you'd like to send it to them all, you could simply, again, it would be people here, contractors, and click here on options where you can actually send the welcome email. So that will send the welcome email that I just showed you to all of your contractors, helping to get them on board. Okay, perfect. So I hope that has made sense in terms of the welcome email, how to view, edit, and send that. Now I want to show you some of the emails that go out via Fixflo to your contractors. So let's have a look at these. So here is an example of an email that has been sent to a contractor. You can see that this says job awarded. So this is saying to the contractor, they have now been awarded a job. So essentially, guys, when a job comes in, the issue status will be at the issue status reported. You will then be essentially either awarding the job to the contractor, or you could go and request quotes from the contractor. Obviously, both of these workflows do have an email that goes out. There are other workflows available as well. And if you're not sure about the workflows, then please do come to our webinar, which is on the introduction to Fixflo Essential and Fixflo Professional, where we will go over how you essentially manage a job from start to finish. Just to show you though here that this is what the contractor would receive if they have been awarded a job. It will have your logo at the top of the page here. It will say, dear, and then have their name. You have been allocated a job. Now, with this is actually a planned maintenance job. So with this, it does say, please contact the occupiers to arrange an appointment. And it says, click here to see the occupiers. So I am going to be showing you how it would look with planned maintenance later as well. It has all of the job details here. It says the job has been awarded to them. It lets them know whether or not the job has an associated occupier, and it also tells them about the issue priority. Just to let you know, contractors can click on enter job start date here, which will take them straight through to their Fixflo site. So they do not need to enter their credentials if they're clicking in from an email. So a really important thing to remember, because we're trying to make it easy for your contractors to use the system. Having your contractors on board really will make a really big difference. So we've tried to do certain things to make it easier for contractors to easily log in and start resolving the job. So that was one email, and that's what goes out if they have been awarded the job. Another email example here, guys, is for them to quote. So here we can see that the email title is please quote. So it's nice and clear for them here. Dear Mr. Pepper, please quote to resolve this issue. So again, it has all of the job details in here, including the occupier contact information. You can see here it says when quoting is set to end. So whenever you ask for quotes, you do give a quote end date. That is shown clearly here within the email itself. It says whether or not the occupier would like to be present. And underneath that, it does have the coronavirus information. That will also be displayed on the instructed job as well when you instruct the work to them, if it is a reactive issue and you've got those COVID-19 questions turned on. They can be turned on within setup and settings. And if you're not quite sure, please do ask. I will show you how to quickly turn those on. It's done very easily. You will need admin rights to do it, but it does help to keep everybody safe. And as you can see, it will appear in this email as well. Another one of the emails that I really wanted to show you that contractors receive is this one. And I think this is one that agents aren't always aware goes out. And I think actually it can be a bit of a frustration for contractors. So I do want to show you this one. This is one that went out this morning, and it essentially is a summary of their outstanding actions. We call it the task to do email. So with the task to do email, it will tell them essentially all of their outstanding tasks, which they need to do on Fixflo, so that they're kept in the loop and nothing slips through the cracks. You can see here, it has got invitations to quote. So they've got 3 open invitations to quote. He has got 83 jobs, which are awaiting a start date, 9 which are awaiting job completion. We're also awaiting contractor information on 17 jobs as well. And it also says that there are 4 invoices which need to be matched to a job. Now, obviously, what shows here will vary depending on what's outstanding for the contractor. Another thing that can show on this email as well is contractor certification. So if you are waiting for them to upload a certificate, that will also show on this task to do email. Now, just to let you know, it does say here, if they want to change their email preferences, they can click here. And just like the other emails, they can click on View Now, which will take them straight through to the Fixflo site. Again, no need for credentials. So no need for a username and no need for a password. Now, these emails go out every single weekday at 8 AM by default to every single contractor. Some contractors do find this, that this email goes out too often, and you might find that you have contractors saying to you, why do I receive so many emails from Fixflo? Now, if this is a frustration of your contractors, they can change their notifications and you can do it for them as well. Ideally, you want to really get your contractors logging on, resolving jobs, changing their own settings, and really kind of get into that rhythm where they're doing Fixflo themselves and they're just going in and changing things themselves. However, there will be times where you need to do things for them. So let me show you, first of all, how you can change notification settings for a contractor. So to do this, again, you'll need to be logged in to your Fixflo site, and you'll want to click on People. And again, you'll just be going straight into contractors. If, for example, I go back into Reggie Pepper here, you can see it takes me through to his profile. And in order to change his notification settings, I will want to, as the agent now, click here on Notifications. I will also be showing you how you can do this on the contractor side later, so please don't worry. In notifications, it takes me straight to the task to do email. So this is the email that I just showed you. You can see that this is set to go out every single weekday at 8 AM by default. If you want to change it, it must be changed on a per contractor basis. I can simply change this to say, actually, I just want this to go on a Monday and a Friday, for example. I could change the time if I wanted to, and then press save. Once you've saved that, that will then save, and the contractor should, in this case, be getting less emails. We would highly recommend that you do not turn it off completely. You want to make sure that they are being kept in the loop, that jobs are not getting forgotten, because if you do turn these off completely, as much as the other emails will go out to contractors, it can be quite easy for these things to be forgotten. Additional things although they have their dashboard and the app, you want to make sure that this task to do email is going out as a minimum 1 day a week. I do understand why some contractors want to reduce it. It is important to be aware of this email and understand the frustrations that some people think it's a bit of an overkill. It can be changed, as I showed you, on the agent side on a per contractor basis. So please just be aware of that if you do have any contractors saying, I'm receiving too many emails from Fixflo. That can easily be altered. And again, I'll show you how to do that on the contractor side shortly. I just also want to make you aware of a few other things whilst we're in the agent side before I jump into the contractor side. With each job progression, you can actually, so for example here, this is a job which I've asked for quotes from the contractor. You can clearly see on the next steps tab that we are waiting now for the contractor. So it's the contractor's turn to get back to us. Again, I would highly recommend that you get in the habits of your contractors doing as much as they possibly can on Fixflo. I'm going to show you just how easy it is for them to progress jobs and manage their works in just a moment. But it is important to know that you can progress jobs on their behalf. This is easily done. Again, once you're in the next steps tab, you can click where it says here, waiting for contractor. So you want to click on their profile here so that essentially they are bold and the little arrow sits underneath them. And essentially you can actually continue with the workflow from their point of view if you want to. So you can progress jobs on their behalf. Again, I wouldn't advise that you do this too often. You want contractors to get into that habit of doing things themselves, but it is possible. So please just do remember that, but I would do it as like one-off basis. If contractors kind of catch on that you can do things for them, they might become lazy and they might expect you to do it every single time. Obviously, they can send you comments with quotes and you can put that in for them, but just make sure that you are trying to get them in the habit of doing things themselves. And again, hopefully this webinar is something that allows you to feel like you can train Fixflo out better to your contractors. On top of this, I would recommend that if you haven't already, you set yourself up as a dummy contractor on your Fixflo site. To add a new contractor, it's very simple. You click here on people and click on contractors and click add contractor. You can then add yourself as a dummy contractor, meaning that if contractors do have a question or a query, you can easily log in essentially as your own contractor, and hopefully you'll be able to see it from their side of things and you will then be able to answer their questions better. But also remember, we do have the contractor help site with a video library, so that really should help contractors to get on board as well. But if you do want to, please add yourself as a contractor. It is possible. It will help you understand their side even better. Final thing I'm going to point out to you on the agent side is, again, you will need admin rights for this, but this is all to do with the planned maintenance setting that you can turn on. So for those of you on Fixflo Professional that are using our planned maintenance tool, you will be aware that with planned maintenance, the jobs are not reactive. The jobs are all, so the IS numbers are created from service events, so essentially from SE numbers. In saying that, there will be no occupier automatically attached to the IS number, meaning that there are no contact details to automatically give to the contractor. Now there is a setting and it's available here again, so you'll need admin rights within setup. And if you click here on settings, within the issue settings tab, which you're taken to by default, you'll need to scroll down and click here and open up planned maintenance. There is just one setting here, and it's basically the contractor instruction method. By default, it will be set to the one I've got here, which is for the contractor to contact the agency to arrange access. That means that any occupiers who are on the related tab will not show at all to the contractor. So they will not be displayed there, and the contractor will need to contact you in order to contact the occupier to say, when can we arrange access for example, the gas safety certificate. If you would like to, you can change this setting to say that you would like to provide the contractor with the occupier details to arrange access. And these are the occupier details which will sit on the related tab. So any occupiers that are registered as living at that property will then pull through for contractors. If you want to turn that on, it is a good idea because then contractors can just arrange access themselves. You'll see this pop up here. You can press confirm, and once you're happy, guys, you can press save settings there. And that means now that any occupiers that are shown on the related tab as not archived will then show on the contractor side. Okay, so I'm going to show you the contractor side now. So we're away from the agent side, and this is the contractor side, which I'd recommend that you guys all get access to yourselves by adding yourself as a dummy contractor on your Fixflo site. And you are here then taken through. So just like yourselves, when a contractor first of all logs in, as long as they're logging in essentially from your URL, if they go in from one of the emails where it says like enter job start date, then of course it will take them straight into that job. But if they log in using their credentials from your Fixflo URL, they will straight away be taken through to the dashboard. Their dashboard looks similar to yours, but it is slightly more narrowed down. Rather than having 12 active panels, they have got 8. The dashboard that you're seeing right now, this is the default dashboard that contractors can see. So let's just highlight a few of these panels. So first of all, here we have got jobs awaiting start date. Now, this essentially is showing them a list of all of the jobs which they have been instructed. So they now need to provide an appointment date and time. To view all of these jobs, they can simply click here on view all, or they can just click in to one of these kind of top 5 ones. Next to that here, we have got invitations to quote. And again, these are jobs where they've been asked to quote for the job. They can see like the details here about the job, for example, the IS number, the property address, and also the title. And on the right hand side here, they can see when the invitation to quote actually will end. They can see here awaiting occupier approval. So if an occupier has decided they would like to be present when the works are carried out, and the contractor has gone and said that there's a time and date they'd like to go to the property, but that it has not been agreed with the occupier, then it may be actually awaiting for the occupier to approve that time and date so that the contractor can go and carry out that work. Job start date declined, that will show here as well. And another kind of big one here, I guess, is jobs awaiting completion as well, guys. So that's all of the jobs where they've provided a start date and time, but they haven't yet completed the job. So these all need to be marked as complete. In the top right hand or top left hand corner even, sorry, of the contractor side, they can see here any unread comments. This will also display in the unread comments panel, which is in the default dashboard. They can also see here any unattached invoices, and I'll explain that shortly. They've got a notification bell here if there are any notifications. Certificates due, so that's all to do with contractor certification. So if there's anything due from them, that will display here. And remember, that will also pull through to that task to do email. And if they would like to provide us with feedback, they can do here. We do respond to all feedback, both agent and contractor feedback. So we'd love to hear any feedback from them. Just like your dashboard, they can remove panels by clicking on the little X in the top right-hand corner and add new ones where they can have a look through and decide which panel would suit them. Once they've found one, they can click, they can select it like so, and click here on add selected. That panel will then populate for them. How does a contractor progress jobs? So let's move on to that. So here we've got jobs awaiting start date. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click into one of these jobs here. And this is when they have been essentially instructed the works. So just like you, when they go through to a job, they are taken to the next steps tab. And this is where every single party will progress a job. So all parties progress within the Next Steps tab. You can see, although it looks similar to yours, it is slightly more stripped back, where they have got here the Next Steps tab, the Detail tab, Comments, and also Appointments. They can see at the top of the page here, very similar to you, the IS number, the issue title, the address, and also here the issue status, and that will mirror what you have. They can also see who the job is assigned to. If they want to, they can click here on Print Job Sheet, which will essentially open up a new tab for them where they can print this off if they want to. It has got all of the details, so they could essentially print off a number of job sheets, go through and do them, but they do need to log back into Fixflo to mark the job as complete. Okay, perfect. So they've also got here report another issue, where they can report another issue for this particular property. The Next Steps tab is where essentially all of the issues will get progressed. But before I show you that, just want to show you here, they have got a Detail tab here, and this has got all of the detail about everything that's been raised. They've also got the contact information of the occupier here. In the Comments tab, they can send a message now. They can either send it to yourself or to the reporting occupier. Any messages between the contractor and the reporting occupier will be able to be seen on your Comments tab as well. And in Appointments, this will be blank until an appointment has been added, and they can also add the appointment through here as well. Primarily though, all next steps should be added through the Next Steps tab, and you can see it's very, very easy for contractors to do this. They can also do this within the Contractor app, which I will give you a quick run through in a bit. So on here, they have got set the appointment date, which is logically the next step, but they could mark as complete, provide a quote instead, or decline the job if they want to. Setting an appointment date is very simple. It does tell them here under the information section whether or not the occupier would like to be present when the works are carried out. For this, if they were to click on Set Appointment Date, this little pop-up appears where they can set the appointment date, the appointment time, and also they can say whether or not this has been agreed with the occupier. Once happy, they can save the appointment date. If the occupier would like to be present when the works are carried out, but the contractor says this has not been agreed with the occupier, then this will go through as essentially a time and date proposal to the occupier, who will need to agree the time and date before the contractor can continue. Once happy, they can save that appointment date. And now you can see that the issue status has updated to awaiting job completion. They can click on Manage Appointment, which will take them to the Appointments tab, where appointments can also be cancelled, and they can add follow-up appointments as well. Marking jobs as complete is just as easy. They can click here to mark the job as complete, where they will be taken through to this pop-up page. Here they can add the job completion date, which will pull through based on the date they gave before when adding an appointment. They can add a job duration, feedback to the agent, so they can provide that if they wish to, and also completion photos and documents, and an invoice method. So just to let you know, job duration can be set to mandatory by yourselves within your setup and settings. It was in this case, as you can see, when I went to add, I think it highlighted in red. So just to let you know, this one was mandatory in this example. Invoice method is also mandatory, and you can in fact limit down your invoice options if you wish to. By default, however, there will be these 4 invoice options. As I mentioned, these can be changed if you want to. So it could be, for example, invoice not required, invoice sent outside of the system. You could have the invoice being uploaded, or contractors can also create this within the system itself. If they decide that they would like to create the invoice within the system, they can easily mark as complete and create an invoice. And I will show you how that will look now. It's very easy for contractors to do. It will take them through to this invoice creation pop-up, guys, where they would simply add the details. So the invoice date and the due date have pulled through, but they can change that if they wish to. They must provide an invoice number. And then down here, they have got the contractor costs. Now, this is split between labour, materials, and also other. And they can provide here a description, put in a unit price, and also if they are registered for VAT, they can set this in the settings, which I will show you shortly. If they have set it to 20%, that will show by default in all quotes and also job costs. If they've switched it to no, that will then be turned off. They can obviously change it on a per job basis, but really they're going to want to set that so that it is easier for them to progress, to do things like add costs, add quotes, create invoices, etc. Once happy, guys, they can click create and they can view that invoice here within job costs and invoices. And this will create a PDF document for them, which will have their logo on it on the top left-hand corner and all of the details, including a payment slip. So it's very easy for contractors to create invoices. Uploading invoices is also just as easy, and there is another invoice option I will show you shortly. When quoting on the workflow, it's easy for them to do this as well. So let's click quickly into one that wants a quote. You can see if they are asked to quote, there will also be a quotes tab added to the tabs at the top of the page. They can either click here on quotes, where they can add a quote, but again, primarily everything should be done through the next steps tab. They can click here on quote, and it will come up with this add quote pop-up. Here they can provide whether there's any lead time required, how long they think the job will actually take. They can say whether or not the quote expires. They can provide quote detail, quote documents, and again, here their quote sits. So again, the tax is added because I've got VAT at 20% for this contractor. Again, it's split between labour, materials, and other. And they can provide the description there. The unit price can be there. And they agree to the Fixflo terms and conditions and then can save and submit the quote. More than one quote can be added by clicking here on quotes. Clicking into the quote. So there should, okay, let me look into that. I think there should be an add quote button. But they can here see their quote and edit their quote as well. Okay, perfect. So let's have a look now at we've gone through the invoices. So creating an invoice, they can easily upload an invoice as well. So to do that, I'm just going to show you quickly. If I was to mark this job here as complete, I could put in the completion date. Job duration. So again, you can see this is highlighted here now in, well, outlined in red because I've put that as a required field. And if we say that we would like to upload the invoice, the contractors can say as well if they would like to provide costs. So for now, I'm going to switch that one to no, because I want to show you how to upload an invoice. It's easily done. They add an invoice number and literally click here to upload. Once they've done that, they could find their invoice, upload it, and press submit. So it's very, very simple, again, for them to do either one of those invoice options. There is a third option I'm going to take you through in just a moment. Just to let you know, contractors can click on this issue search button here on the left-hand side to search through all the issues. They've also got reported issues here on the left-hand menu sidebar, which allows them to see their issues broken down into different tabs: awaiting completion, tasks to do, quotes pending review, completed, and also issues reported by me. And just to let you know, there is this little options button on the contractor side where they can in fact export these tasks or jobs to a CSV, so an Excel document, or a PDF as well. So they can do that if they would like to. Issues can be created as well. So contractors can create jobs if they see a job when they are going to a property. Invoices. So the third invoice option, as well as create invoice or upload invoice, is they can now actually email their invoices as well. This is a way to easily use invoices that they have created through Xero or QuickBooks or perhaps another accounting software. Each contractor can click here, which will take them through essentially to set up an invoicing where they can see their own unique invoice email address. So this is the one for this particular contractor. He can email his invoices, or he or she can email their invoices using this particular email address, where all they will need to do is ensure that the IS number is part of the invoice. Just to let you know, if the job is awaiting job completion and they go and email the invoice over, it will go ahead and mark the job as complete, as well as attach the invoice to the issue. So this is relatively new. We've actually sent out a little pop-up to contractors about this just yesterday, on Tuesday, sorry, just myself and my colleagues. So we created that so that contractors can really start using this feature. It's a great way for them to easily invoice their or email their invoices over and attach them directly to the issue. Just to let you know, if the invoice does successfully attach to the issue, because the IS number has been included on the invoice, they will receive an email saying it was successful. If it was not successful, they will also receive an email, and they will be able to see using this little unattached invoices section that actually something has not quite attached properly. So it will be brought to their attention. They can click here on invoices, where they can, in fact, first of all, be taken to the inbox section. So this is showing all of the emailed invoices which have not successfully attached to an IS number. If they have, then they will not be sitting in this tab. Contractors can go through and attach the issue here by searching for the issue, or they can essentially just go ahead and delete this if it's incorrect. So I tried this on Tuesday, and actually I've now managed to attach that for this contractor, so I could essentially, as the contractor, just decide to delete that, like that. Please let your contractors know that this is another way that they can now send their invoices. Hopefully it's something that they find helpful, and then they can manage their invoices. It is important to point out that the left-hand menu sidebar is not shown on the contractor app. I will go through an introduction to the contractor app very shortly, so please bear with me. But for example, managing invoices is not something, unfortunately, that shows on the app. It is important to remember when you're speaking to your contractors about the app, it does not mirror the desktop version, and there are some things they will need to go to the desktop version to do. One of those things is managing their invoices. Their invoices will then split between two tabs, unpaid and paid, and they can, if they want to, start marking the unpaid invoices as paid to keep on top of what has been paid and what has not. So that is there too, and that will then populate into the paid section. Calendar, contractors can see their contractor calendar here, which will show them about jobs that they have got in the diary and things that are coming up. So that can be particularly helpful. Certification. Guys, I do have a featured webinar recording on contractor certification, allowing you as agents to manage whether or not the contractor's certification is in fact up to date and valid. You can see that this will pull through to the contractor side as well. And just to let you know, these little bubbles here represent whether or not the certificates are valid. It will pull through like a traffic light basis, exactly like it does to yours, either being green like it is here, showing valid, through to amber, meaning soon to expire, through to red, meaning expired. You can manage all of that within the agent side, and it will populate here whether certificates are due or not. They will receive an email, and it will also pull through on the task to do email. So this is just where they can manage this, and they can click to add new documents. Finally, setup. So again, this is not on the contractor app, but this is where contractors can manage their contractor settings. You can see that if as the contractor now, I click on setup, 3 little options appear here on the drop down. So here we've got invoicing, availability, and also notifications. Invoicing is essentially where, which I showed you before, which is where they can view their invoice inbox. And this is the unique email address where they can send their invoices through to Fixflo. Underneath here, we have got, so if they are creating invoices using Fixflo, they've got here, for example, their address, and they've also got their default VAT rate. By default, this will switch to 20%, but they can amend this to 0 if they are not registered for VAT. They just need to remember to press save, and this default VAT rate can also be amended on the agent side within people, contractors, and in a specific contractor. So you can change it for them, but remember what I said at the beginning of the webinar, you want to make sure that your contractors are going to Fixflo and doing these small changes themselves. As you can see, it is very easy to do. Availability. Contractors can even now add when they are unavailable. So if they're taking some time out or going on holiday, anything like that, they can add their unavailability here. You can again do this for them on the agent side under people and contractors. But again, this is something they should be doing themselves. If they do add any unavailability, this will show through to you when you are either instructing the work to them or asking them for quotes, just so that you know that actually the contractor is going to be on holiday next week. That will then show to them. They can remove unavailability, add additional availability, and also edit what they've already got on there. Finally, guys, notifications. Notifications, so this was amended from what I did earlier, but this is where they can change those tasks to do email notifications. Again, if you are speaking to contractors that are finding it frustrating, please make sure that you tell them to log in, click on setup and notifications, and simply amend their details here. But again, to keep at least 1 a week would really be a good idea and recommended. So they can make amendments here if they want to, along with what other notifications they receive here. They can reset this to default easily by clicking this button as well. Guys, the contractor help site, so as well as that appearing as a link out in the welcome email to contractors, contractors can also click, similar to you, on help, which sits here on the bottom left-hand corner of their site. By clicking on help, you will see it will take them through to the contractor support, where they can search for help, find out articles, and also contact Fixflo support. Just to let you know, if they do search for something, for example, they can then open that up in large, and it will take them to the contractor-help.fixflo.com site. Just to let you know, there is a contractor video library here, complete with 11 videos at the moment. I am always adding to this, and it will help contractors to do things such as easily amend their email notifications, decline a job, report an issue, add unavailability. There's lots on there, and they are kept very short and very snappy in order to help contractors quickly to understand the Fixflo site better. Now, the final thing I want to show you guys is the contractor app. So, let's see how this goes. Sorry, bear with me 1 second. Sorry. had this all set up earlier. There we go. Okay, perfect. So I should be now, you should be able to see what I can see on my screen here. Okay, so the Contractor app is very easily, sorry, I do apologize. There we go. The Contractor app is very easily downloaded from the App Store or the Play Store. And essentially what they'll need to do is go to the App Store or Play Store, and it is called, oh, bear with me 1 second, it's not that. If they type in Fixflo, there we go, sorry, it's Fixflo Contractor app. So they can download this to an iPhone or an Android phone and easily, yep, download that. Once they've got it, it will then sit on their phone and they will be able to log on. Now, again, when you're talking to your contractors about the Contractor app, it is important to remember to explain this will not mirror the desktop version that they see. So that really is key. There are certain things that they need to do, if they need to do, such as changing any of their settings or managing their invoices, which can only be done from the desktop version, unfortunately. However, the app's great because it's fantastic for on-the-go works. It allows contractors to very easily just jump onto their phone during the day and progress works just as easily as they could on the desktop, but easily just from clicking a few buttons on their phone. Also, if they work for more than one agency, so more than just yourselves, then what they can do is they can click on the account button here. And they can essentially click on add account, and then they will be able to add the email address and password for their second account. And then rather than them just having to log in and log out to different apps and URLs for different accounts to see different jobs, everything for all of their companies they work for who use Fixflo, they will be able to do via one app and one login. So all of their jobs will show in one backend, which is a real kind of positive of using the app. You can see here they have got their dashboard, and this is the dashboard that they have. This unfortunately is not changeable. So it shows them all of their issues at the top left hand corner. Then it's got their recently updated here, their comments, everything awaiting a start date, what's awaiting completion, awaiting occupiers, and it just does show them in the top left hand corner kind of what, like how many notifications are on each. They can click, for example, into awaiting start date, click into a job there where they will be able to, as you can see, click on set appointment date. It's very, very easy for them to essentially do this and press save. So as you can see, in just very, very quickly, rather than me logging into the desktop app or waiting for the email, trying to find that on my phone, it's very easy for contractors to do their works on the go using the Contractor app. As you can see, there's no left-hand menu sidebar. So any settings they want to change or invoices they want to manage must be done outside of this, but they can still create invoices using the app as well as upload them as well. So it's very easy for them to do that. They can also use the comment section as well. So the app is a really, really good option for those who are kind of on the go works, who want to resolve jobs as they go. Guys, a few questions have come in. I hope everything has made sense so far, and this has given you a better understanding as to how to train out contractors. Before I go through the questions, I'm just going to launch the second poll. Bear with me 1 second. It would just be great to get some feedback from you. I hope you have found today's webinar helpful, and it's given you a really good insight as to how contractors do manage works, the emails they receive. So please do provide us with some feedback as to how you felt the webinar was. And I'm going to start answering some questions. So a question came in from Chloe. Hi, Jessica. When you instruct a job or ask for quotes, I always enter text into the instruction notes. Where is that shown on the email sent to contractors? So Chloe, that is a good question. What we're going to do is Just going to go back in as the agent to answer this question. Going to go to this reported issue, and I'm going to go to request quotes. Quotes should be received by, so we can put all of this on here. Oops. Just going to pop in. So it's here is what Chloe's talking about. She puts in either quote request details or instruction details. So I'm just going to put here quote. So we know what it is, and proceed to the next step. So if I now send this to Reggie, just going to wait now for that email to come through. Bear with me one moment. Here we go. So it doesn't actually show in the email itself. However, when a contractor logs in, so again, we can use that magic button to log him straight into that particular issue. That detail, I believe, will be here. So it's in the instruction notes, which sits on the detail tab underneath job details. If you guys think that should be changed, please do let me know. And we can do that. But that does appear, that is where it will appear on there. If they go to click on quote, it will also appear here, sorry, at the top. So it will appear at the top of that, that little box as well. So that's where that one appears. Chloe, I hope that answers your question. So it doesn't appear on the email, it appears within the details tab at the bottom, and also when they go to quote. Same with instruction, it won't appear in the email, it will appear in the detail, and also when they go to, I think it will appear in the information section actually. The next question's from Kirsty. Do the emails which are sent to the contractors ask them to quote contain the description of what work is needing to be quoted for? So we just had that up, bear with me one second. So it tells them the issue title, Kirsty. So when we're asking them to quote, it does tell them the title here, but it doesn't have kind of more detail than that. So any additional detail that's been given, I don't believe will appear on this email. Bear with me one second. No, so it will literally have the issue title. Again, if you guys think there should be a change here, please do let me know, because I can put all of that forward to our development team. For those of you that haven't voted in the poll, please do. It would be great to hear from you as well. For those of you leaving us now, I am going to continue answering questions. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. My name's Jessica. It's been a real pleasure. I will send this recording out to you by the end of play today. So please do feel that you can always rewatch any sections if you want to. And please, for those of you that would like to answer the poll, I'm going to leave it open for a few more seconds just to get some more responses. Actually, I'm going to close it now, I think, because people are starting to leave. So that's all good. You mentioned you can change the options presented to contractors for invoicing in the drop-down. How do you remove some of these options? So that's a really good question. So to do that, you need to be logged in here as the agent. To amend those options, again, you're going to need administrator rights. You will click here on Setup and Settings. In Settings here, you'll want to scroll down to your general settings and open these up, where you can see there are actually quite a few different settings you can change here. If you would like to change the invoicing options, that's done here where it says contractor invoice options, where there's a drop down. By default, it will be this top option, so say uploaded, generated within Fixflo or no invoice, but you can amend this if you want to and restrict it. Any changes made to this, please just remember to make the change and then press save. Again, if you do not press save, those options will not save. Okay, is there a way of turning off completion for works orders when invoices are submitted? For example, some of our contractors charge call-out charges to quote. So we'll email a call-out invoice at the quote stage, but wouldn't want the work order closing at that stage. Okay, I'll read that one in just a second. Sorry, Kirsty. Let me continue with some other ones first. I just need to get my head around that, I think. There's an email here from Karen. So contractors tell us that when the expiry date for a quote passes, they can no longer see the job. Okay, thank you for that, Karen. I'll have to look into that and double check that. They should be able to have visibility of the job when the expiry date's passed. Let me double check that for you. I will do some research into that. I'll have one expiring tomorrow and see tomorrow when I come in if I can find that job. So Karen, bear with me on that one. I will look into that. What visibility do contractors have into the comments between agents and occupiers or landlords? None. So unless the contractor has received an email or a comment, sorry, about an issue, they will not have visibility. So if it's between the agent and the occupier, the contractor cannot see that. If, however, it's between other parties which do not involve the agent will always have visibility of that because you're the main player. You're the ones that are managing the job, and you will always have visibility of everything. So if the contractor cannot see any comments between other parties, only if they are included. I hope that does make sense. Some of our landlords aren't able to see the tenant details on planned maintenance. It only shows when the comments are open. Is there a way to view these? Ashley, do you mean your contractors rather than your landlords? If you could clarify on that, that would be great. Okay. Yes, sorry. Okay, thank you, Ashley. So yes, so with oh, maybe I didn't go into this in enough detail. With planned maintenance, do you remember I showed you the planned maintenance setting, which by default says that the contractor cannot view the contact information of the occupiers. Bear with me 1 second. Just going into a planned maintenance job now for a contractor. Now, remember, because your planned maintenance IS numbers are created from service events, that means that no occupier has reported the issue. Therefore, no occupier is automatically attached to the job. You can attach occupiers to jobs on the related tab when you're in as the agent, by clicking on a little grey flag, which is on the right-hand side of people's name. But by default, there will be no associated occupier. So when a contractor goes into the job, this is how they'll see it. However, it does have here on the next step section here on the right-hand side, it says, you have been allocated a job. Please contact the occupiers to arrange an appointment and then update the issue. That is if you have changed that setting. So if you have said that you would like your contractors to receive the occupier information, they will be able to click here to click to see occupiers, which will take them to the details tab, which will show them other occupiers at the property who they can then contact. I believe, yep, they can contact them via the comments section. And again, you will have visibility of that if they do that, but they might decide to call or email outside of Fixflo as well. But by default on the next steps tab, it will say that the issue has no associated occupier unless you associate an occupier with that particular job. I hope that makes sense, Ashley. Okay. It would be very beneficial if the quote details could be included in the emails. Yeah, perfect. I will put that forward to the development team, guys. Any other feedback that you have, please do let me know. We would love to hear it. We do put everything through to the development team and they review it. I cannot promise that everything will end up coming to life on Fixflo, but that is really good feedback for me. So I will definitely keep an eye on that. I am aware now that we are reaching an hour. So I do hope this has been helpful. There are a few questions left. Perfect. So Lisa Mills, you're going to send something to the development team. I'm looking forward to hearing that. Please keep getting your feedback over to me. I'm happy to stay on for more questions, by the way, but if you do have to leave again, thank you so much for joining me. I am going to be staying online just to continue answering questions though for another 10 odd minutes, if there are enough questions for that time, of course. So Will, why is there no functionality to group jobs together? This is a big thing that we hear a lot from agents, admittedly. So if I have 3 plumbing jobs for a single property, I don't want to raise 3 separate jobs as it just gets messy. Agreed, it's harder for you to manage. I completely see that. I want to be able to group them together, have one quote for a single job. Well, again, let me put this forward to the development team. This is something that comes up from our agents, and I completely see where you're coming from. I'm not quite sure whether it's on the roadmap or not, but let me bring that up with the development. I know it's quite a big piece of work for the development team to look at, but I'll definitely bring that up for you, Will. I'm afraid it's not currently possible for anyone that would like to do that, but again, I will put that forward for the development team. Now I'm going to go back to the question from Kirsty, which let me try and reread this. So, is there a way of turning off auto completion for works orders when an invoice is submitted? So I'm guessing you mean if the job is at awaiting job completion and they email the invoice, is there a way of turning that off? Is that what you mean, Kirsty? If it is, I don't believe so. But again, let me put this forward to the development team. I can see your example here is that some contractors charge call-out charges. Somebody's also raised their hand. Please just go through the Q&A if you've got a question. I'm happy to answer it. I am going to stay online for a few more minutes for those who are around. Kirsty, if you could let me know if that's what you mean. I don't think there's a way to turn that off at the moment, but again, these are all things I can put forward to the development team. So please let me know. Lisa, could it be possible once the contractor uploads images to completion documents that you pull these off in a PDF, for example? If a particular landlord does not use Fixflo and there are 20 images, one job is complete, you have to save each. I see, so have one PDF with all the pictures, Lisa. I will, again, put that forward to the development team. It's not currently possible, but I will put that forward. So Kirsty, you're saying if a contractor submits an invoice via email for a call-out charge at a quote stage, will this? No, that won't close the works order down. It's if a job is awaiting job completion and they email their invoice in, it will essentially mark the job as complete. It won't close the job. The only people that can close the job, remember, are the agents. Contractors cannot close jobs. The job will stay open on your side, but it will be marked as complete. What I can do, Kirsty, is I can give you a quick call after this if you like. I have got a meeting with one of my colleagues in a minute, but I can call you this afternoon if you think that would be helpful. I would like to kind of get to the bottom more of what you're asking, and it might be something that I actually need to look into. As far as I know, if the job is awaiting completion and they email the invoice, it will automatically mark as complete, but I think you're talking about a different stage. It's something definitely to check out though, and it's something I think I'll need to test, but I'm very happy to give you a call if you think that would suit. Yeah, no, I understand, Karen. Yeah, sorry, Karen's just responded to say that she thinks that what Kirsty means is that if a plumber sends out an invoice for the call out, you don't want the job to be marked as complete. I agree, I need to test it. I haven't actually tested it at that stage, so let me test that and go from there. You're very welcome, Lisa. Just trying to keep on top of these now. Perfect, excellent. Yeah, Kirsty, I've got your number there. I will give you a call. No problem at all, Karen. You're very welcome. Then another question here from Karen. How do we send the invoice without closing the job? When you say we, do you mean the contractor? That's the same question. Okay, Karen, it's something I'll need to look into, and I need to look into your other thing as well. So I'll be in touch with you as soon as by tomorrow, if that's okay. I am working in the morning tomorrow, but I'll look into your query then. Perfect, guys. Well, there seems to be no further questions. If anyone does have any, please do feel free to put them in. Again, I hope this has been helpful. It's really been a pleasure, you guys joining me this morning. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Tomorrow is Friday, so we're nearly there at the weekend. And I really hope everyone is keeping safe and well during lockdown 2.0. I appreciate it's a hard time right now. And thank you again for your time this morning. Thank you.